My name is Lucy Solomon and I'm the principal for the new college, not the new college, the failing college. And this is a demonstration of where we think the failings have started in the college initially, with people not listening, talking, and just kind of doing their own thing. So, the position we are going to take to begin with is I will introduce myself as the principal. I have brought with me today my team, who I've worked with for a long time. Bob is here to my left, he's our head of strategy. You can't see his badge very clearly. To his left is Natalie, who's our head of student services, and along the end there we have Rex, who's head of faculty. Our head of finance would be with us this afternoon, only he's at the SFA sorting out some financing and funding for the college, so he can't actually be with us, unfortunately. Okay, as I said initially, I've worked with these people for a number of years and we are a very strong team. We work together on fallouts, but on the whole, we've set our vision, we shape the future, and then we work together to achieve and take people with us. My background is retail before I came into education, so I have a commercial background, and from that I worked in departments that were failing, had high costs, low profits and so on, and then worked really hard to turn those around and turn them into a profitable business and profitable departments for the company I worked for. What we did initially with the college that is failing is we had a look to see what we can do to actually turn it around. So why is it failing? What's causing it to be in the position that it's in? So we decided that we were going to take our vision with us, because we all work for an outstanding college at the moment, so we've got plenty of experience between us. So we're going to take our drive and our tenacity to establish the facts. So what is happening in that college? The only way to establish what is happening is to listen to the people that are in there at the moment. What are the students saying? What are the staff saying? What's happened to the management team in that college for it to be failing in the first place? Once we've listened to everybody and done some surveys and talks and so on and so forth, we can then start to make notes and decide what we're going to do to turn things around. We need to identify the core areas of concern, so what's causing the biggest costs at the moment. We also, one of the main points actually, is we need to motivate the staff and gain their buy-in. You can't turn a college around on your own, and you can't do it with just 2 or 3 people. You need the whole college to be with you and on the bus, basically. So you need to share your vision with everybody from the same staff, the students, and the parents as well, and the wider community. Once you've motivated your staff to start achieving and working harder, then you'll probably reduce your absence and so on, and people will want to come to work. They're going to want to come to that college, and then you can start to turn the ship around a little bit. At that point then you'll be realigning your finances and you'll be balancing your quality. The quality will come from the senior leadership team, from the places that we've come from and our experiences. We're also going to be recruiting the best staff, and we'll be implementing performance management, which is a very difficult route to go down. However, in this case, it's going to be necessary. The college isn't failing for no reason, and we want the best people to take it into the future. You can be nice to people, but ultimately you need to save the costs, and you need to have the best people in. The learners are the people of the future who are going to go into industry and so on, and they might come back around at some point. So you need to be looking after them, developing them and growing them. We need to ensure that students have the best experience possible with us. We don't want them to go to any other college. We still want them to come to us, even though we've had an awful Ofsted. That's fine. We have our benchmark, and from that we need to build. IAG needs to be the best, so making sure we're recruiting the right people onto the courses and making sure we've got, say, the right people delivering the courses. We will be taking a collaborative approach to this college, and we will be taking it in the right direction, which is up. We won't be continuing to go down, otherwise there's no point. With regard to OLAS, we will be funded by OLAS and FE for this college. So with the I did say supporting reoffending initially, but what I meant to say was we're going to be reducing reoffending and cross-group working to share best practice. There's going to be plenty of elements within OLAS that we can implement across the college, and equally there's going to be plenty of college policies that we can implement into OLAS, which leads me into Bob to talk some more about OLAS.
Yep. Thank you, Lucy. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Davis. I'm Head of Strategy and Business Development, and in that role I've already taken a look at the OLAS provision for the campus, and that's a new area for us to take on board. So I've taken the chance to look at their books, look at what's been happening down there, and it's clear to me that the college in place at the moment has not been offering its full support to the OLAS provision. So I've had first-hand experience of taking on an OLAS contract with a college in the past, so I know where I'm coming from with this. I've got experience of turning around a failing provision and making it much more successful for the prison and for the learners within that prison. So, in my point of view, and I've already discussed this with Nick, our finance director, who's up with the SFA at the moment, talking to them about OLAS funding. And it's clear from what I've seen that in the initial year of our contract, we're likely to take a loss on OLAS because we're going to have some restructuring with staff. We're going to need to put in some new resources, maybe some restructuring needs going on, some physical resources need to be put in place, and all that costs money. And then from that point on, we will then need to put in some effective business planning with the prison that meets the prison needs, the matches government policies and the college policies and principles. And working with the consistent team that we've got in care and the approach that we'll have, I'm sure we will achieve that and achieve the learner outcomes that will support their rehabilitation, which is the ultimate aim of the government and the college. And that's the direction we'll be going in. But as I say, it may be that we'll take a loss in the first year, but it will give us a firm platform to move forward and develop. So I'll hand you over to Natalie, our Student Services.
Good afternoon, I'm Natalie, I'm Head of Student Services. My aim in my role is to see that individuals reach their potential, and that's my vision and my passion, to see everyone who attends this college to do that. I'd like to talk to you about a learner that I met recently called Sheldon. 2 months ago, Sheldon came to education. He was very difficult and challenging. He did not want to be there. He was disengaged. He caused quite a lot of problems in the department. However, last week I had the great pleasure of giving Sheldon our Learner of the Month award. So what had happened there? His self-esteem had gone up. He was very, very pleased with his Western College bag and dictionary and wore it all afternoon. How had that been achieved? We had taken time as a team to listen to Sheldon's individual needs. We had challenged him where that was necessary. We talked to him about the potential that he could reach and encouraged him, and we provided the finances and the funding that would enable him to do that. So we saw Sheldon begin his journey to reach his potential, which is very exciting.
Can I just ask you, will you be able to do that though in this new college, because you won't have the resources to sort this out, will you?
We will have the resources, because the resources will come from a holistic approach to each learner, where we will look at their needs and their potential that's there. So we would want to do that, and that would be our aim, definitely. The heart of the college really is the well-being of individual learners, and without that we will not be successful. That's very, very important. It's our absolute passion as a team to provide a high-quality, holistic approach where the individual is listened to, and that would be our model and my model as Head of Student Services.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name's Rex. I'm a faculty director. I'm the faculty director with the team, and I've got a wide range of experience from post-14, OLAS, through adult education and everything else in between. Over many years of experience. I've worked with several different teams now, several different faculties, all of which you could class as failing in one way or another. Most of them all have a group of individual teachers and without a team structure. What I always do is work from the front, lead from the front, develop it through quality CPD, through modelling good practice, and information and communication. I work hand in hand with Nick. It's a shame Nick's not here, but I work hand in hand with Nick, because by informing and communicating the reasons why and how we're funded to the individual teachers, it always buys ownership, and with ownership comes change, and with that change comes the improvement in the success and the quality within the team. I consistently find, not just with the faculties I've worked within, that they have low success rates. They have probably more inconsistent success rates, which is in some ways more annoying than just having low. It's actually finding the reasons why we're inconsistent. And that normally, once again, comes from individuals as opposed to working as a whole team. I like to work with the finance team. We like to create an impact. We like to make a statement. We're proud of the competition. We like to be the best with all the faculties that we've worked within. We like to have ownership of our own funding, our own destination. We like to be able to influence the way that the rest of the college is going. And as a result, without fail, we've always created, and I've always created, a cohesive, competitive faculty. It's always focused. It's always focused not only just on the quality, but also the finance, but more importantly, it puts the learner at the heart of everything that we do.
Thank you. A couple of questions, if I may. Principal, you're taking over this college now in Bridgewater, which is failing very badly. I'm quite surprised at the comment you made that you're going to share everything with the staff so that they get the buy-in in terms of your strategy. How are you going to do that? From my own experience in my career is when I shared the strategy of turning the college round, the unions and all the staff went into revolt.
Oh.
So I'm just wondering how you're going to get this message across calmly.
Okay, well the initial strategy and the fine details of the strategy will be shared with the senior management team. At that point I will be gaining their buy-in because, as we've mentioned as well, we're a cohesive team. So we're all going to agree the overall strategy. We will then pare it down slightly so that we don't necessarily give out every single element to the wider team. So we will then give them a high-level overview of where we want to be in a year's time, 2 years' time, and then 5 years' time. So we'll do a 1, 2 and 5 year projection so that they can see that actually it might be a little bit painful in the first 12 months, but it's going to get better. We will maybe put some incentives in as well for the staff. Although we're going to be in a deficit position, we still want to retain the best staff, so it's going to be a very difficult juggling act. So if you're going to be, or if we're going to be making staff redundant or cost cutting through various departments, it could be that other departments are going to be rewarded in the future for their performance, which is then going to bring in more income for the college.
I think the important thing that we talked about as a team was that the thing that we would definitely want to share is the vision of the future. And we would definitely want everyone to buy into that. And the other important thing is that we would want to listen to the staff and we'd want to hear their concerns and we would want to understand what was going on in their heads so that they felt
We've addressed, sorry, if I may, we've addressed that as well. I mean, Lucy and as a team. Nick is very clear about the financial implications, and the only way that we've been able to actually put that to the staff is to get away from this them and us scenario. And Lucy and the rest of the team, we've made ourselves available to the staff to inform them and be very clear about the reasons why, and that we find that actually helps.
And in terms of the ambition for OLAS, I can see that the income could actually dip, or the contribution could dip in year 1. What's the long-term ambition for offender learning?
I'll take that one, Lucy.
Okay.
Yeah, long-term ambition for offender learning really is we've got it, because we'll be working in partnership with the prison service and with the college, it's kind of a situation where you're kind of stuck between, could be viewed as a rock and a hard place, because you're pleasing two bosses all the time. On one hand, you've got the business plan for the college, but then you've got to meet the prison needs, but ultimately you'll meet the learners' needs, the offenders' needs. And the ultimate provision at the moment is to aim towards their rehabilitation. So what we've got to look at are programmes that are, first of all, that meets their needs rather than what they want to do. Then it meets the government policies, and it meets the prison needs of getting everybody out of the wings, off the cells and things like that, into gainful employment and education, so that then they can go out and reduce the reoffending. And we'll be working hand in hand with the prison side, with the education side, with Lucy, to ensure that kind of work takes place.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, right. Okay,
we just have one final thing that we wanted to say, is that right? We just wanted to say that in order to be a successful college, we recognise that the success of our learners is paramount, and that's our vision, and that we feel that we are very passionate about that. And our commitment is that we will listen to each other, and we will listen to our learners, and we will listen to our staff. And just to go back to Sheldon, that's the story of one individual's success. That would be our vision for every individual at the college. Thank you.
One last question for me then. What does the college look like in a year's time?
It will, sorry, yeah, it will be very busy. We will have started to turn the corner. So in the emotional cycle of change, we will have kind of gone into the dip area, where everybody being dejected, everything's changing, you know, and you're getting people's buy-in. But by the time a year has passed, you're going to be coming out the other side. You're going to be growing. You're going to be looking for other income sources as well as your funding sources to bring more capital into the college, which is then going to then buffer up your different faculties and increase provision and enable learners.
Finally, what's unique about your team? You know, I've seen many teams today, and everybody's going to look after the students. They're all going to work together. They're all going to share everything with their staff. So what's unique about this team?
It's our cohesiveness.
I think it is.
It is the cohesive. We create cohesive teams. It's our track record.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Okay.